Students, we are going to start with the Chapter 6 Vocabulary Builder. Visualize it. We are going to use the words with the check marks to complete the H diagram. So boys and girls, the H diagram shows a relationship between sets of things. So the words that relate to adding and subtracting fractions with like denominators should be placed on the left-hand side. The words that relate to adding, subtracting fractions with unlike denominators should be placed on the right-hand side. And the words that relate to both should be placed in the middle part of the H. In the center, that is. So let's start with our review words. Benchmark, common multiple, denominators, difference, equivalent fractions, mixed numbers, numerators, simplest form, and sum. And our preview word is common denominator. So add and subtract fractions with like denominators. Next, add and subtraction fractions with unlike denominators. So, boys and girls, when the denominators are not the same, we use a common multiple to help us add and subtract the fractions. Also, boys and girls, sometimes that common multiple we consider to be allows us to create equivalent fractions. And equivalent fractions will allow us to add or subtract the fractions that used to not have the unlike denominator to have the same denominators. Also, when we take the common multiple, we get our common denominator. And our common denominator means that we rewrite the denominator so that the denominators are both the same. Now, boys and girls, remember the center of our H diagram. It's all the words that both adding fractions with like denominators and unlike denominators get to be placed. So both types of fractions have numerators. So we're going to put that in the middle. Also, both have to be written in simplest form. Also, you can add or subtract either of these. And when you add, boys and girls, your answer is a sum. And when you subtract, boys and girls, your answer is a difference. So tonight, I want to make sure that everyone's making note cards, flashcards to help study these words. And you can use your glossary in your Go Math textbook, which is posted on Schoology, to help you do that. Next, boys and girls, we're going to go to the understand the vocabulary. So, a common multiple, boys and girls, is a number that is a multiple of two or more numbers. Number 2, benchmark. Benchmark is a familiar number used as a point of reference, and that's a word that we've used a little bit more this year in 5th grade. Number 3, simplest form. Simplest form, boys and girls, is the form of the fraction in which the numerator and the denominator have only one as their common factor. Number 4, mixed number, is a number that is made up of a whole number and a fraction. Number 5, common denominator. Common denominator is a common multiple of two or more denominators. So because it says two or more denominators, we know it's a comparison. And number 6, equivalent fraction, is fractions that name the same amount or part. An example would be a half and 2/4. If we say we have half of a dollar, we know that we have 5/10, and we know if we have 2/4 of a dollar, we have 2/4, which is also equal to 5/10. So it is really important that you study the rich content vocabulary to be better prepared for Chapter 6.